Joined by our MVP, Yuleska Ramirez, and head coach Jose Edwards, and the rest of the showstoppers. We're able to really play a great defensive game as a team and as an individual.
It was a huge part of us winning the whole thing. As the season went on, I had to play defense. I had to be here for my team, and it was just something that I had to contribute to my team in order for us to get the win.
How good did it feel to beat those two teams and to prove that you guys were the best group, a group that people don't know as much about?
It felt good. I mean, it was only the best three teams that were always Fenway, us, and New Mission. And I felt like we always had it. We were always there to play, and like we were the best team. I believe we were the best team out of all three of us, and we could be all of them.
Shit. And whoa! Tejeda to the rack and the foul.
One of the most exciting Division III women's basketball player and a heck of a softball player too. She's Yuleska Ramirez Tejeda from the D3 Hoops.
My name is Yuleska Ramirez Tejeda. I'm 24 years old, and I'm from Cambridge, Massachusetts.
So, what school did you go to for high school?
I went to Cambridge Engine Latin, class of 2016.
While you were there, what sports did you play?
I ended up playing 3 sports: volleyball, basketball, and softball.
And what were some of the accomplishments that you had while you were here at Range?
Across board, I ended up getting Boston Hero, Boston All Scholastic, DC All-Star, MVP, some Player of the Years, in all sports combined, so just across the board. So after Range, I ended up going down to a small D1 school down in Fort Wayne, Indiana, played there for a year, then ended up transferring back home to Emmanuel and finished my 3 years there.
Take me back to the start of your college journey. I read a little bit about it, that coming out of high school, your dream and your hope was to get a scholarship. You got that. You were in Fort Wayne. What brought you to Emmanuel?
You know, man, things happen. A lot of things happen behind a closed door nobody knows about.
Sure.
I wasn't happy. My coaches were pretty bad. So I said it's time to go home. I love playing basketball, and it got to a point where I kind of started hating it. And I said, this is not me, so I got to go back home and play. It doesn't matter if you play D1, D2, or D3. So many people are caught up in the whole fact that I have to play D1. You really don't. Yeah. My goal is still to go play overseas, and I'm going to do it after this year, so it doesn't really matter where you end up playing.
Sure.
For women's basketball, the feeling was familiar, but oh so sweet.
Yolo, fantastic tournament from you, and you just kept pushing it. You were great tonight. What was working for you?
Just do what I got to do, you know, hustling after every rebound, getting every play. We just came out here with the mentality we're going to refuse to lose, and we just had to go get it and get it done. After
school, where did you end up going, to play?
So after I graduated in Emmanuel, I ended up having to stay home for the year due to COVID. Then I ended up playing for the national team in the Dominican Republic. Shout out to my people. And then I played out there for a couple tournaments, came back out here, and I ended up playing the past season in Ireland.
And as a female basketball player, what challenges would you say existed for you?
I say there's challenges all over, you know, just as a female, first of all, there's a lot of challenges, so never mind as a female athlete, you know, you encounter so many challenges everywhere you go, you know, even just stepping outside, playing basketball, you don't see as many females playing basketball, it's all guys, you know. Me personally, I grew up playing with all guys, but challenges across board, just everywhere you see it, you know what I'm saying, so.
Hello.
Hello.
Can we get an introduction, please?
Cortland Towns. I'm one of the assistant coaches at Cambridge Engine Latin for the girls basketball team.
Okay, so how would you describe Yolo as a ball player and just as a person?
As a ball player, fearless. She's fearless. She gives 110% all the time. She doesn't overthink the game. She just goes out there, plays it, worry about making mistakes later on, which is tough because a lot of players, they're getting their own heads, you know, they mentally break down. She doesn't really have those. And she's never had those, honestly, just to be honest. Like, it's never been a situation where she wasn't confident in herself or didn't give effort because she was having a bad game. So it's always been effort and consistency. And those things are big, especially when you're going against people that are maybe more skilled than you or just are more praised than you are. So that's what helps her kind of get. She plays up, or better, should I say, when she plays against people that have been saying, oh, this person's better than she is. Those are the games where she kind of really steps it up. As an individual, just great individual to be around. Always cheering others on, high energy, never really any negativity, and that's big for someone to be around, right? You want to talk about vibes and everything. You want to be around people that are positive and helping you elevate yourself, and people like her are always good to have in your corner.
How long have you been working with Yuleska?
Like, how you say, like, I got wind of her from Coach Dana, who was coaching when I came over on the coaching staff. That had to be like, I think that was her like 5th grade year, and then 6th grade we started to really get introduced and stuff and kind of see what she had. But even then, she was still doing a lot of sports and everything. She's a 3-sport athlete, so we didn't really start to work on the game until probably I'd say like freshman year, and even then it was a talk. It was a decision thing. It wasn't like I forced her into it. It was like, hey, if you want to get better, this is how you can do it. I'm giving you some opportunity and some time to do it. It's going to be up to you, though, if you take advantage of the opportunity. And she just took full advantage of the opportunity, and the rest is kind of history.
How often do you work with her, like during the week?
We usually get it in somewhere like 3 to 4 times a week. She's always constantly calling me, hey, what's the schedule for this week? What are we doing this week? What time are we doing? All right. So she's pretty on top of those things, and those are big things, right? Sometimes it's just people that aren't as consistent, and that's so big, like consistency. To really get better, you have to see results over a time period of doing something consistently. And those things like transfer over. There's so many players I work out with that will work out once a month or every once in a while, and they won't get the same results, and they're kind of questioning themselves on why they may not have or why they may have are struggling with in certain areas. And it's like we have to be doing the same thing consistently over and over again to get good at those things that we're working on, and then we can start to move on to the next periods of the workouts. And that's just this consistency thing. It's important.
Okay. What do it takes to be like a professional athlete, basketball player?
I think the big thing that he hit, consistency again, and a lot of sacrifices. I think, like I said before, like a lot of people get caught up in the whole professional basketball player. There's a lot that goes behind it. It's cool to say, I'm a professional athlete, but there's a lot of sacrifices that go into it. Being so far away from home, not seeing your family, adjusting to a whole new country, sometimes new language, new food, new atmosphere. You're pretty much away for 7 to 8 months of your career, of the season by yourself. A lot of free time. It's a lot mentally, emotionally, physically. It's a lot. After you get to a certain age, you got to know how to take care of your body. A lot of teams sometimes don't have physical trainers, so you got to know how to, adjust and be able to take care of your body if you want to really have a long career. So it's a lot of sacrifices, I say, that people miss out on because they're so caught up in the whole, professional athlete. They hear that and they freak out. But it's a lot of sacrifices. I would say it's not for everyone. You really got to be built for it mentally because it can take a toll on you for sure.
Yeah, look, back of the color and faded. Sometimes I feel like I made it. I thank the Lord I'm so gracious for everything I got away with. I was just working the grave shift. Me trabajando was puro. In the trap with the gang eating noodles. She tapped my name on the cooler. Duro. Yeah, 100K all in the concert. Slide in the Benz, me a wancho.
I'm rolling.
Yeah, bro got a drum like a bongo. I'm in the jungle like Congo. Pouring this vodka. You know that I'm ballin' siempre. I'm in the 8, my bro in the 6, my bitch is siete. Glock on my body, new weather. I be in Cali with essays. I cut that bitch off.
Two right there.
She keep on texting me essays. Bitch, I'm the boss, I'm the half it. You know I'm the half it. I cut a brick with machete. Walk in the spot with my gang. Teed up with all of me hands. Bitch, I be throwing be jetting. We could go dollar for dollar for peso. I got a Glock, but it shoot like a Draco. Light this bitch up like it's Waco. Back of the cousin and fade. Sometimes I feel like I made it. I thank the Lord I'm so gracious for everything I got away with. I was just working the day shift. Me trabajando was puro. In the trap with the gang eating noodles. She tapped my name on the cooler. Duro. Duro. Duro.
Hey.
That's good. I'm good here. Don't worry about it.
Ha.
Hey, look, beat the fuck up. Come here. Go ahead, you got the first free two right there. Oh! Can't give motherfuckers nothing for free.
Stop.
And the last question is, like, what other goals do you have that you're trying to accomplish?
I mean, honestly, my number one priority is my family. I just want to take care of my mom personally, you know, be able to get her out of the hood where she's at right now, you know, provide for her. I want to retire her. I want to make sure she's good, set, you know, and then after that, you know, I just want to be the best basketball player that I can be. You know, I want to be able to be a role model and be somebody that is talked about 10, 15 years from now and be like, you know, for little girls, you know, I want to be somebody that I wish I had when I was little, you know. Thankfully, I had Cortland, you know, but he didn't come into my life till I was, you know, like he said, 10, 11 years old. But I want to be, you know, have a legacy, leave a legacy behind, you know, my own legacy. I want to do it my way. I don't want to look back and have other people say, you know, so-and-so did it this way, you know. I want to be able to look back and be like, I did it my way. So, yeah, just want to be a role model for little kids out here, you know, to, hey, if you put the work in, if you persevere and, you know, you do all these things and stay consistent and stay focused, you know, it will pay off, you know. You really can do anything you want to do in life. So, you just got to stick to it, stay focused.
You don't get athletes like her around here very often. I'm so proud of her. She's a hard worker, never complained about anything. Oh my God, a good student. Like, you're like if I had to open a book of what it's like to be an athlete, you would be the example of it.
Aww.
It's crazy, seriously. Like, I know how hard you worked to get to school, the AAU that you did club volleyball, you've done softball, like, not just the season, 3-sport athletes hard enough, but then you also did it at the club level on top of all of that and kept good grades. Like, amazing.